Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Artist on Purpose podcast. I'm here with my new good friend, Annmarie Fore. She is a sound healing artist. And just tell us a little bit more about what that is and what that means.
Thank you. It's good to be here with you.
Welcome.
Yes, do you want me to start at the beginning or just tell you first what that is?
Tell us what got you into it and what it is, because I think maybe some people don't really know what it is. I imagine there are people that don't know what it is.
Absolutely,
So,
yeah. So I never knew what it was until I moved to Colorado several years ago, and I was invited to a session with gongs, like this gong behind me. And this woman had 2 or 3 gongs, and I laid there with my eyes closed on the rug, and she played these gongs for an hour, roughly, and I could not believe how it helped quiet my monkey mind. We're always thinking, I'm always thinking.
Yeah.
And it helped me to really really drop into a meditative state and relax. I was teaching. It was a very stressful job. It helped me really decompress and calm my nervous system. And I started to go to her sessions on a weekly basis. It was definitely transformative for me because I was going through a lot of life changes. I'd moved across the country and went through a divorce and just all these big things, a very stressful job. And this was to just breathe, learn how to breathe again, right? And so I just fell in love with it. It's hard to describe. I just was like, I love the sound of the gong. I love the vibrations and what I was feeling in my body. Everybody experiences it differently. But I went out and bought a Tibetan bowl. She would also introduce me to bowls. And I would play that one single bowl and just found even that was enough to give me some peace, relaxation. And then I brought it into the classroom because I was a classroom teacher, and my little 4th graders, they loved it. And I started getting more bowls. And long story short, I felt like I want to do more of this. I want a gong in my life. And I found this gong, the Chiron, and I bought it, and I thought, wow, I think I'm being called to more than just doing this for me. And so then these instruments started showing up in my life. And before you know it, I have a wide variety of instruments. And I started going to school for this to learn what in the world sound healing. I'm doing the little air quotes because that can be, people think, oh, is it cure you? No, it doesn't cure you.
Yeah.
It can be, like I said, it can affect you internally, physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally.
Would you say it's a conduit for allowing self-healing to happen?
Absolutely, because we are our own healers, I would say.
Yeah.
But it allows a couple of things. If I'm in a hyped up, stressed state of being, I can't really listen to what's happening or tune into what's happening within. So I first need to calm that down, quiet the nervous system. And then things can open up, right? My awareness, things can start to shift, even on a chemical level, right? Cortisol levels can drop, dopamine can be released. Those kinds of things can happen. My cat wants to be a part of this. And I would say there's 2 things that I experience with this now. As a practitioner artist, I offer sessions to groups. Some people call them sound baths because you get bathed in vibration and sound. Right. I call them a journey. And what a lot of people experience in those sessions is kind of what I was just saying, this dropping in, kind of shift in the brainwave state. And that the flow that I create, this is the artistry part, I create this flow with a variety of instruments. I'll go from something that's really soft and gentle to something a little bit more invigorating. It's really hard to put in words, but some things that are releasing, that help release some of the emotions, and others that kind of just fill you up. And so it really takes you on a journey with a variety of sounds and usually our responses to. And so it begins with that relaxation, dropping into relaxation. And that's what I use my monochord for. I'll show you that in a minute. And then it's different for everybody. Some people say, oh, I saw colors, or or geometric shapes, or I felt like I was transported to another dimension. I had a little child tell me that once, actually.
Oh, wow. So I totally just lost my question. You say it's a journey. Do you coach your people before they come to a sound healing or a sound bath? Do you coach them that they need to be open, receptive to whatever the journey is going to be? Or do you just say, show up and figure it out?
That's a great question. A little of both.
Okay.
I don't want to overload and over direct, especially if it's a group session. People come for all kinds of reasons. Some people come because they're curious.
Yeah.
Because they like music maybe, and they think, oh, this is a different element, a different way in. Other people come because they have a specific intention, right? So I don't want to interfere with that. But what I do in group sessions in particular is I start with a little guided meditation or visualization to help that process of getting out of our head. Start with some breathing. I might do a visualization of energy flowing through their body. I might start with a poem or a combination of these things.
Right.
And then I tell them this. I'm going to start with words.
Yeah.
And to help you drop into your journey or whatever this needs to be for you. And I trust that. I trust that it's going to be what it needs to be for each person. And then I stop talking. I might use some vocal toning. I might not really sing, but more vocal toning. It's mostly the instruments and the energy. And then I will bring them back with words at the end. And at the end, I think it's really important to pay attention to notice what's coming up physically in the body, sensations, or in the mind or in the heart space. So I provide a little space for that. And I like to end with a gratitude moment just to really ground in that. So
That's very important.
It's the nutshell of the experience. What I'm doing throughout the session is using a combination of the skills that I learned in training and a whole lot of intuition. And I play where I'm led, this might sound a little woo-woo or weird, but it's really responding to the energy of the people in the room.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me.
Yeah, well, I think when you're an
fascinating.
artist that's in front of a crowd of some sort, that is exactly what it is. You have to feed off the energy that's around you. Mm-hmm. If you're a solo artist working in a solo studio, you don't have that influence from other personalities or energy. It is solely coming from that person, but you have the ability to go in and accept and move along the journey with how it feels. Because you don't really have a set plan. You don't go, I'm going to start with the gong and I'm going to do the sound bowls and then I'm going to do the chimes. You don't have that, right? It just, or you do.
I do and I don't. I have an idea. I have maybe if somebody is painting a picture, they have an idea of where they want to go with their painting. Maybe they don't. Everyone's different. But then it's never exactly what I planned. It always takes its own direction. So as if I was painting something and it's not all orchestrated, you might just, oh, now I feel like adding this color or this shape. Similarly, it takes on its own life.
So I know that you're pretty new still at this. How long have you been doing it now?
I'm in my third year, a little over 3 years.
Okay.
Not of having my own business, my own practice with it. Yes.
And so you're doing it full time right now.
I am not.
You're not?
No, I'm not doing it full time.
Okay.
I would love to be doing it full time. And besides doing the group sessions, I love them equally. I love the private sessions, which that was the focus of my training, the majority of my training. It's different because I follow a bit of a protocol that I learned. It involves like assessing the energy field of the person or persons, let's say a couple is coming, and working with their particular need or intention. They might have physical pain. They might have a lot of stress or anxiety or something that they're feeling blocked, maybe grief that they want to release. And then we work intentionally with that. And I also put some of the instruments on the body if it's a private session, like the Tibetan bowls, for example. Yeah, that's where the deeper work usually happens. So I love that. I love being able to process a little bit of that journey with people. I bring in my spiritual direction skills for that, and just getting to accompany people and see their own transformation evolve. It's magical.
So do you have the ability for people to sign up for several sessions, or do they, it's just, I found, and also how do people find you? That's the $50,000 question when you are an active working artist. Yeah, how do people find you? That was two questions in one, so go for it.
That's fair. If I forget one, you can tell me. So I do have a website, and a lot of people seem to find me either through a Google search if they know what they're looking for, right? And they're plugging in sound healing, sound journey, sound bath, any of that kind of stuff. So I will say I have gotten a lot of Google reviews that keeps me
high up
keeps
on the
me high
algorithm.
up in this area. I'm proud to say that people have really responded positively to this work, and I just feel like there's a lot of grace that's comes through me. It's like I'm the facilitator of it. I'm not really the doer of the work. The work is happening with the openness, like you were asking about openness. The person comes open and receptive, and it's, yeah. So anyway, they can find me, people find me that way. They might find me through Facebook or Instagram, or if they subscribe to my website. My website, I have a subscriber page, and I send out emails and let people know what's happening.
Okay.
And yes, people can sign up for a single session. Maybe it's a special occasion. Maybe they have a particular need, or they have a friend in town that they want to treat them to this little intimate private session, or go to a group session. But people can also buy a package of sessions so that they can really focus on a particular intention.
Which feels like that would be what you would want to do, right? You don't want to just go in for one time, because you may not complete whatever it is you need to do, right?
Like anything, like
yeah.
massage or physical therapy, or you go for something like that once a year. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's not going to have the same benefit as if you engage in it ongoing.
Engage in it ongoing.
Or
So
yoga or something.
yoga is a practice, right? Practicing.
You practice.
So what do you do on the side that helps support your journey with sound healing?
So like I said, I was a teacher, and I stepped out of the classroom after 28 years. I needed to do that. It was time. I'm grateful for all those years, but it was definitely time. And so I've done a variety of things to pay the bills as I'm starting up this business. Everything from dog walking to tutoring, and then little side jobs, but now I have an administrative assistant job at a church in Fort Collins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I do that 3 days a week. And the rest of the time is freed up for me to do this work.
To explore and grow this one. Yeah, that's really cool. Now tell me, what brought you to Colorado? Of all the places you could have gone, why Colorado? And why specifically northern Colorado? Annmarie lives in Loveland, Colorado, which is next to Greeley. I know most of my interviews have been in Greeley, but we're branching out to the next city over. So, yeah.
We're neighbors. Yes, great question. My daughter was getting ready to go into middle school, and we didn't have, I lived in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
We did not have school choice. The only option was not a good one. So we looked at, okay, where can we move to? And at the same time, felt very drawn to the West. I think it was always in my blood. Traveling to national parks all over the country as a child. My parents we did a lot of road trips. I was always drawn to the West. And I think because of the spaciousness, the skies, the openness, it's so big. My spirit feels free here. The mountains, the lakes, the climate. Yeah, just that expansive kind of feeling.
Tell everybody how,
that good.
Yeah.
I do miss the deciduous forest and the ocean, I have to say.
Those are two things we don't have here.
That we don't.
Yeah. Don't tell anybody how cool it is here. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. And so did you and your wife move out here or together?
We did.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. We moved to Longmont initially, and then after we divorced, I moved up here to Loveland.
Okay.
So found I wanted to be near water, and we have a lot of little lakes here, and there's a good art community in Loveland. It seems like geographically speaking, just easy to get to Fort Collins, easy to get to go places south. I just feel like it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Convenient.
And you're pretty close to I-25, so you're pretty close to the
Absolutely.
main corridor that runs north and south.
Yeah. I think it was a good landing spot for
Yeah.
me.
That's great.
Yeah.
So do you advertise at all on Google or Facebook or anything like that to help expand your reach, or are you pretty much all organic and word of mouth at this point in time?
More organic and word of mouth.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because I think that you have to know firsthand or secondhand from somebody to hear what somebody else's experiences has been
yeah.
like, and versus just, it's hard to put into words anyway.
Yeah.
You have to experience it to really get it.
Yeah.
I did.
And Colorado is really great for what you do. People are very receptive to alternative forms of relaxation and meditation and body healing in a lot of different ways. So that's really very awesome.
Yeah. What's interesting though, some people think that it's in conflict with religious beliefs or practices. I've heard that from other people. I've a little bit experienced that myself from people. Interesting.
Really? That is
yeah.
very interesting
yeah.
because I would feel like
There's some
any
resistance
connection with God in any way, shape, or form, and a way to do that is to allow that pathway of communication to be
Yeah.
more. It feels like that would be weird that it would be in conflict of that, but
I know.
I live in fairyland, really, so you know.
But I want to say that too, to reassure people, because it's not a religious practice or experience. It's not in conflict with or aligned with a particular religious religion or spirituality.
It's funny. I wouldn't have gone down the religious pathway with it.
Yeah, but it's interesting because I think whenever we don't understand something, it's easy to make assumptions and think, oh, that's fill in the blank, right? And you're right. For me, it helps me to access my connection with the divine, with source, and or whatever God, whatever name
Whatever
you
you
want to use.
call it, all good.
Because it opens, right? It's expansive in a lot of ways. For others, like I said, it's just it can be an emotional release or emotional, like really refill you if you're feeling empty it's different for everybody.
On our walk to Chipagu Park, was that last week? It's already been a week.
I think it's a week or two, yeah.
We went on a little walk around this beautiful sculpture park, and we like to chat about just life and how to keep moving forward because sometimes it's heavy. And you mentioned that one of your heart loves is to get into senior centers, like senior facilities.
Oh yeah.
And that has not been a path that has been very well open to you. So
It's a little tricky.
yeah, I'd like for you to share on that because maybe we can open up some doors by sharing it on the podcast if that's something you want to do, and why you think that will be mutually beneficial for you and for the residents of those homes.
Sure. I actually really like the variety. One of the things I love about this is I get to work with young couples and I get to work with seniors. And then last night there were 2 children at my session. It was like, oh, I get to be with children again. I felt like I was back in the classroom for a minute. But there's something about, I don't know, I've always been drawn to seniors. Maybe because I have worked with children for so long too. It's a nice flip on that. I do currently, for over a year now, I've been at a senior living center in Fort Collins for about once a month. Yeah, once a month I go there. And so tell me your question again.
What is there? It's something that you want more of, right?
Yes.
And so why is it also? I know you have a deep passion for how it will be beneficial, and so why is it beneficial to our seniors and our older members of society?
Oh, okay, great question. So I've worked with both seniors who are pretty independent or semi-independent, and then also those who need memory care. And let me start there with the memory care. What I was told, because it's not always visible, it's not always clear how some of these folks are benefiting because they're not able to necessarily communicate that. But what I was told by the staff, and it's only every other month that I get to work with them, but I was told by the staff that on the days that I'm there, that they're calmer, the sundowning, how they get agitated around sundown, and they're calmer, their behaviors are easier to manage, if you will, and they just, they're more settled in the evening, which is typically the harder
And you would
time.
think they would want you there every single day.
I know, right?
I know.
And then for other seniors that don't struggle with memory care issues, oh my gosh, just recently this woman, I could physically and emotionally just feel that something that she was struggling during the session. And when I talked to her afterwards, she said that she was really grieving the loss of her husband and that she she could feel it pouring through her, releasing. So I think the older we are, the more people we've lost. And then also physical ailments, physical pain.
Yes.
I don't know, this is maybe just my opinion, but it seems to me that too often our seniors are a little bit on the margins of society and don't necessarily get all of the care or attention that they might benefit from. And they get, where I'm at, they get great care. It's not that they don't get great care, but this is a different modality and a different way for them to, if there's release for them too, releasing their stress or their worries or concerns. And physically, like we talk about softening some of our shoulders or our hips, and we might focus on different parts of the body that might tend to experience more discomfort. And I don't know, it's just been so gratifying to have people come up to me and say, this one woman said, hey, you've been doing this now, I've maybe gone to you about 6 times or 8 times, and she says, I'm really reconnecting with my spirituality, and it's really deepening. And I just never know, right? How it's exciting to hear how it's affecting people.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. The other thing we talked about when we were walking is you set up for an outdoor sound bath, and it ended in tragedy. I know, I believe as artists, we go through these things. And one of the things I commented is when tragedy strikes and we're like, and it's not a loss of life, Annmarie will explain more in a minute, but when we go through something that's traumatic to us and we're stuck on this place, we're like, okay, what is the move forward? I'm done, I can't do it anymore, or does it strengthen the resolve to move forward, to just, gosh darn it, I'm just going to keep doing it, I don't care what obstacles are in the way. And my motto, my mode of life is persistence beats resistance every single time. Think about the kids that want to have a lollipop, right? Mom, they want it over and over, and they're going to keep asking you until eventually you're probably going to give in. Some moms don't, but some moms do, so it just depends. But tell us a little bit about that experience, because I know it was very traumatizing to you on a lot of levels. And where are you at now with it?
Yeah, it was rough. I was setting up the instruments and the wind kicked up. Fortunately, nobody had arrived yet. Excuse me. And I set the gong up and I turned around to get another instrument, and that quickly the whole stand came crashing down, landing on my crystal balls, smashing them. Ugh. And scratching significantly, in my opinion, scratching the gong. It's not super visible until you get close to it. It is to me. It's my pride and joy. But yeah, I'm as human as the next person, right? So I could not spiritually bypass this tragic moment, and I had my little freak out moment. And then I had to pull myself together and deal with, okay, I have people coming and I need to hold space for them and carry on. The show must go on, so to speak. And so I tried to actually put her back up again. I call her. I'm like, we can do this. And the wind was saying, no, you can't. So I had to set her down. And I think it's the first session I had without my big gong. I have a small gong too. And it was fine. It was absolutely fine. I had to play differently because of the wind. Everything wanted to blow, and it was interesting. It felt a little stormy in a sense, but it was well received. And what I had to do is just trust, right? Go back to just trusting that it's all going to be okay. It's going to work out. And as an entrepreneur, I never knew this right before I started this work. I had zero experience with business or entrepreneurship, and had no idea how challenging it is. Emotionally challenging.
It is.
Because every day we get challenged. Oh, can I keep going? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing?
This is great. Oh, this sucks. Yeah, it's great. This sucks. Yeah.
And I get to keep practicing staying rooted in what I believe my purpose is with this work. Yeah. And I had that little fleeting moment of, maybe I should just give up. And then I'm like, no, maybe this is reminding me how passionate I am about my gong in particular, but the work that I'm doing. And I know I'm really resilient, and yet I get to be tried and tested.
That's a great word, resilient. So you said you broke your crystal bowls.
Couple of them.
So how did you handle that with the session?
I cleaned them up quickly, put all the pieces in a bag, set it aside. I still had, because I brought out them, I still had 4. Yeah, I still had 4. I could still play. I shifted a little bit of how I was going to play them.
Okay.
But fortunately, the 4 that I have still remaining work really beautifully together for both resonance and dissonance, which have different purposes in a session. Yeah, I'm looking at replacing the broken ones, and I'm in the process of assessing the gong to see if it needs to be repaired or replaced or embraced with its scars.
Yeah.
To be determined.
The journey still continues. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So do you have I believe that the gong is your favorite, but is that really your favorite instrument that you play?
Yes, and I can't just have one favorite
Oh,
in life. Not even I don't even have a favorite
children.
color.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Me
they're
too.
all my children. And this monochord is also a favorite. Even the simple seed rattle is yummy. It's just, I don't know, it feels like all the dust is settling, so to speak. But I started, my first love was the gong and the Tibetan bowls, and they still remain what I love.
OG. They're the original.
They're the
things that
original.
Got you in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
in my world, I started as a balloon twister, and my OG was a flower. I mean, so I still go to that. I go, the first balloon I ever made was a flower.
No.
So yeah, I totally get that sentimentality of what the OGs were.
But for me, the gong, the vibrations that come out of the gong are powerful. You don't have to play it hard to get that, but to me, it's the most impactful. But I'm saying that for me, it is the most impactful for a lot of my clients. But some people are like, nope, love those crystal bowls more than anything, or love the monochord. People tend to love. I start with that. They tend to love that because it almost hypnotizes us. It just brings us into this relaxed state.
And
It's
it
fun
looks
to
a
me.
little bit like a harpsichord, but it is not.
It is no, it is not a harpsichord. I can show you. I don't know if get the full view. It can be played along the torso, on the body. In private session, and the vibrations can be felt through the wood. Or I play it on my lap with 2 hands, and it creates a perfect fifth as well as an octave. It only has 3 notes. And I will typically play this while I am guiding folks into that relaxed state, while I'm maybe offering a poem that I've written. And this,
It's got a lot of depth to it in its sound, and it's the guitar strings. I'm assuming they're guitar strings. They allow for that resonance of each time you pluck and each time you go over with your fingers. I've played guitar for majority of my life. I'm not an active player now, but it's that same kind of acoustic feeling and sound, which is really heavenly. But that's a beautiful instrument. And of course, this was probably too loud for the microphones, but the
ocean drum,
the ocean
wave
drum. And I told you my story about my ocean drum. That I own one, and my husband Brian and we went to Albuquerque on our anniversary. And there was an ocean drum for sale down there. We're like, that's the coolest thing we've ever seen. We put it in the back of our van as we were traveling around, and it would just go. It was like having an ocean in the back of the truck, and it was amazing. And so when I saw you pull that out for the first time, I was like, I love that thing. It's so much fun. And then you say that you play it over people, right? So they can look up and they can see all the beads moving around, and it is.
For children, I will do that for children.
Well, I'm a
because
child, so
I know,
I love that.
I could do that for you.
Yeah.
Because typically I would recommend closing your eyes so you're not in your head and watching and thinking, what is she doing next? But for children, when I would do it in the classroom or at a camp or something, and they're like,
it's
mesmerizing.
mesmerizing. It's amazing. Just give it a little bit of a hit, and you like a little. I know. I just love that. I love that sound. She's barely touching it. It's like just tilting it a little bit.
Yeah, and I might have that in one hand on my hip while playing a little chime, like a wind chime, or playing my Peruvian bird whistle, so you feel like you're at the ocean. Oh, those seagulls!
Yeah, I
a
personally
favorite.
have a hard time sitting in a space and closing my eyes. And just doing that. I like to see. I'm a very visual, experiential person. Even the sound bath that we did at the Her Story, thank you, which is how we met all together. I couldn't close my eyes. It was also, I didn't know a lot of those people there, so it was not a space that I would be like,
You
yeah,
have
so
to feel safe and secure in
and it
the
wasn't
space.
that I wasn't safe. It was just I'm not that person. I would much rather be in a place where I know everybody, and then I'm like, okay, I can do this. I got to watch everything when you were doing everything, and even when you were walking over and you were letting things happen over everybody's head, and just watching people's expressions when you were like directly above them. It was really fun to watch from that perspective, from being in the audience.
Okay, that's actually one of my favorite things when I'm doing a group session, especially a larger session, is seeing and feeling the reactions as I'm moving about. Because I don't just sit, if when I'm playing the gong or the bowls, that's different. But then I will move around with the ocean or the rain stick or the chimes, and to see and feel people's reaction as I get close, or even with a Tibetan bowl and they're feeling the vibrations pour over them. It's very
I think it was the
gratifying.
rain stick you were walking around with. That I don't remember.
I don't know. It was either
There were,
rain or
there
ocean.
were a lot of amazing sounds going on. So,
Yeah,
pretty
it was
cool.
fun. Yeah, the ocean tends to be a lot of people's favorite, and we do live in a landlocked state, so it does make.
We don't get that
Total
sound here.
sense.
I did grow up at an ocean, so I know what that sound sounds. I know laying
Takes
on
you
the
back.
beach and hearing the waves crash. And actually, that was my mantra when I was going through birth with all three of my daughters. That was my place to go, was listening to the ocean. And the ocean drum was pre-children, I could have taken it with us, but I was a little busy doing other things. But yeah, that was my mental picture of where I went. So every time I hear the drum, I always think of that.
Yeah.
Of just being on the ocean, what it smells like, what it sounds. It's very easy to recall. So.
The ocean, I love it here in Colorado. I love the mountains, but the ocean is actually my happiest place. So I love to pretend I'm at the ocean too and to play it for myself. The other thing, I don't know why this just came to me, but I've learned that I do not have tinnitus, but a lot of people do. And I've learned that from people telling me this, that they have a really hard time being in silence, like doing a silent meditation, because it's excruciating. That's when the
sound
tinnitus
is-
sound is the most prevalent, or whatever. And that when I've worked with people one-on-one, like spiritual direction or something, that they will want to have a moment of meditation, but they need to have a sound. So if I'm playing a singing bowl or I'm playing a rain stick or a rattle, actually the seed rattle works really well for that. It helps to distract the brain from the tinnitus sound. So
Yeah, can you reach the seed rattle? That would be a fun one for people to hear.
maybe.
She had, just take it off for a second, yeah.
Well, it's hitting a bowl, so we can make it up. Can you hold it for 1 second?
I certainly can. I get the honor.
I love this one. And there's a few ways of playing it. It can be as simple as this. Or it can even be a little more.
That one also has a lot of different tonalities in it. It's got deeper tones and higher tones.
Yeah. I'm actually looking at, once I deal with the replacement of bowls and all that, I would love to get an additional, it depends on an additional seed rattle. It depends on the types of seed pods that are used. They all have different tones and
Yeah.
sounds and effects. So I've been itching to get a new one.
To get another one. And if you were to look at these, really, they're like different sizes. That's what's making the different tonality. And they're all open so that you get these little bit.
It's yummy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's such a pleasant sound.
It is.
Yeah, I really love that.
Yeah.
So the big question is, where do you go from here? What do you plan for in the future? What are your next big moves and what you're wanting to do? I imagine you probably want to move into this a little bit more full time.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And I'm always open to see what people are always sharing ideas or thoughts. And I'm like, oh, let me consider that. Where am I being led to next? What's the right next move, right? So one of the things I'm going to consider is working with birth doulas, and someone planted this seed, right?
Yeah, and if somebody had one of those, I would have been in hog heaven during birth.
Right?
Yeah.
Before, during, after birth, to have this sound experience. Oh my gosh, relax the nervous system. I met somebody who, she came to me for a session right after a death in her family. It was like literally just days after the death. And she said, oh, it brought me back to when my daughter, who is then now a teenager, when she was born, she had someone playing a gong during her birth. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I think that could be really impactful and amazing. And I want to do this with I do want to do more with seniors. I also love working with couples. I've had a couple of couple sessions where we did not just the normal playing the instruments and they're just passively receiving, but I also do some optional, people could do it or not do it, but having the couple work together with their own voice and teaching them how to really listen to one another's voice and do some collaborative relationship building work with sound. So that is really exciting for me. And children.
Yeah.
To do a little bit more with children.
Kids are so just right there.
Mm-hmm.
They're just, this is here right now. Let's enjoy it. Let's love it. Yeah, they don't question everything. Whereas as adults, we get our itty bitty shitty committee in the way, and it tells us what we can and can't do. Yeah,
especially with imagination, right?
Yeah.
Because I will say, you allow yourself to use your spiritual imagination, if you will. Just like, where does it take you? Is it a place in nature, whether it's the ocean, or for some people, it's like, oh, it was like cosmic. I felt like I was in another galaxy, or wherever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool.
For some people, their ancestors show up in their journey, and I think it depends on your experience sometimes or your openness to it, for sure.
Definitely. I purchased one, I'm not sure what it was, a certificate to a sound bath.
Yeah, you get to choose.
I'm not sure when I'm going to use that. It'll have to be on the other side of graduation month. We're in the month of May here, so
yeah, it's a busy month.
It's a busy month for us, so I look forward to plugging in for that, definitely.
One little shift that I am going to make in the process of working on in my group sessions, I used to do more, how shall I say, thematic sessions, full moon ceremonies. I still love doing solstice and things like that. And while I'll still do some of that, I want to focus more on, because of the world that we're living in and these times that we're living in, focus on more sessions that are simply around calming the nervous system and discovering that resilience within us, that we can tap into the calm within us even in the midst of the storms of life. It's already all within us. It's just accessing it.
Yeah.
And so I want to use this modality to help folks to access that inner peace, because we need it. We can't just be like all the time.
Yeah, we are constantly being attacked. At least it feels like it to me. I feel a lot.
Sensitive.
So so it does feel like often we're being attacked, and so I don't listen to news. I don't listen to any of that stuff, because it is. I mean,
it's hard.
I'm in a world. I live in my career as a happy place. My job is to bring joy to the world, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard to be in a world where we're constantly barraged by crazy and doing all that. So I have one final question for you.
Yeah.
All right. So anybody who wanted to get into this, what would be your recommendation for them to learn more, and something that you would want to tell them that would encourage them to do?
Okay, sure. Yes. I would say first check out my website, unless you're not into that sort of thing, but just bounce around. There's photos, there's all kinds of things to take a look at. And then you could call me. I could offer a free consultation if you want to just talk about it over the phone. Some people like to try it out with a group session. It's lower risk. That's a kind of a weird way of saying it, but lower investment type thing. Come to a group session. Or some people really just like, nope, I don't want to do a group session. For lots of different reasons, I just want to have my own private session experience. I would say try it.
Yeah.
Whatever feels right and comfortable to you, because you don't know till you try.
But if they wanted to become an artist of sound.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
thought you
I
meant
love
just
that.
experience it.
Yeah. So do all those things.
Yeah, I would say you have to first experience something before you become
Absolutely.
the artist of it.
Yeah.
It's a great question, because what I'm finding is that a lot of people, because it's not a regulated industry, that a lot of people are going out and buying bowls, or some people are going out and buying singing bowls or whatever, and then they start offering sessions and they haven't received any training. And you actually can have a negative effect on people, damage, if you will, if you don't know how to play, if you don't know all the things. There are a lot of things about it. And so it's really important. I would strongly recommend that you get some more than just a little weekend, quick,
or an
online class or something. And that can be tricky to find. I did a lot of my training online because it was out of an international academy, Sound Healing Academy. And they do a hybrid of in-person workshops and then a lot of it online. But it involved having practice clients and doing case studies and having a tutor that I'd Zoom with. And that was a really thorough training. I'd say that is really important.
Yeah.
And then do a lot of get good quality instruments. Don't get cheap instruments. And practice on your friends.
Yes.
For a lot of people who want to get into it, it's just enough to do it for you and your friends and family. Not everybody that is drawn to it necessarily wants to get out there and be a professional and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like most arts, a lot of people are collectors of art.
Exactly.
Yeah. You don't have to be a collector of this, but you could be. So I already have my first piece. No.
I like to dabble in all kinds of art, but I'm not necessarily going to be a professional visual artist.
No, it's definitely a path that is a very specific path. We are at the end of our time. I just wanted to say thank you for making space and setting everything up so we could see it and sharing a couple of the instruments with us.
Yeah, this is not the full collection by any stretch. I've just put a few out.
A little menagerie of sound items. So, so I look forward to seeing more of you, and not only as a friend, but also in your practice and what you're doing. So I think you're great. So,
Thank you.
So thanks everybody for tuning
me.
in, and we'll catch you next time. All right, bye-bye.
Thanks.